As with some other topics, I would like to revisit them and talk about them in my slightly older and I would say slightly wiser self. Have you ever been ashamed of anything in your life? This isn't just Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, I don't know the specific definition for that shit, and I really don't give a fuck. But shame usually happens when you're expecting some type of reaction from somebody that you consider important. So, Yu-Gi-Oh! Have you ever been ashamed of playing this game in some capacity? I would ask you, why were you ashamed? Is it because you were with some bitch and you didn't want her to know because you did not want her to think less of you? Was it because you didn't want your parents to know that you was doing this thing that you really enjoyed? Whatever reason it was, they're ashamed there. I've totally been ashamed. Hell, I've been doing this shit from 15 and I'm 28. That's a long motherfucking time. This is kind of going to be the process in which I just said, fuck that. I'm not being ashamed of the shit that I like doing and now makes me the money. So as I said, I started playing this game at 15. I was initiated. Sounds like I got jumped into a gang from the show. It clearly didn't play like the show. That was fucked up that we had to learn that shit the hard way. But regardless, some people would consider me playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the reason that my grades slipped. No, 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 no. The reason my grades slipped is because I didn't give a fuck about school. Me playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Just gave me something to be interested in. I was interested more in this and than school. I'm just saying that was just what it was. And so because my father, and I'm not going to even call this bitch my stepmother because my father had not married this bitch. They thought that this was so dangerous and it was affecting my grades. No, it wasn't. I just didn't give a fuck. They felt it was necessary to take all the cards that I had. I have a brother. He's not really important because he's about me now. They believed that taking the cards was enough for me to stop. Have you ever gotten your shit taken before? If you didn't just completely quit right then and there, what happened? You usually got that stuff back, then some. It ain't hard to get cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! It wasn't hard then. Imagine now. Just saying. So I ended up getting a hell of a lot more shit. And then at a certain point in time, when they ransacked my room and they found things, and I guess at a certain point amongst their ransacking, they just realized there's no reason to keep this shit from him because he's just going to keep getting shit. Mind you, they still had the shit that they took like maybe like 1 or 2 months prior in the room. So why the fuck would you take the shit and not just get more stuff? You're just making it a hell of a lot worse. Advice for some parents. You cannot restrict your kid from doing shit and expect them not to do it. They would have to choose not to do it for whatever reason. I know you're the parent. They should do what you say without contesting it. Well, sorry, I was not that type of person. I would just wonder, all right, you took my stuff. Okay, I'm going to still do it. What you saying? That's like taking pretty much anything. You ain't have a job. You ain't have no income. So what? I got it. How did I get most of the shit that I acquired when I was younger? I stole it. Just saying. If you ain't buy it, I stole it. That's the way it was. It ain't right. That's how it was. I'm just saying, parents, most things that you restrict your child from doing, if they can get the shit, they'll get it. Same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! If you try to do some dumb shit like my father tried to do, he tried to take all the shit and expected me to stop. Didn't happen. That's one of the more interesting stories because, in fact, parents don't know everything. So throughout this journey, I've had enough people say some shit that you probably heard before. Why don't you do something else? Why don't you get a normal job? Why don't you go to school, do that, get an education, things like that? You have so much potential. You could do anything you want. Well, come to find out, I just want to do videos for this damn game on YouTube. Parents in general are terrible. Some parents just don't understand this is something that my child likes doing. And if it isn't affecting his gains, you should just let him do it. Also with parents being stupid, they have these unrealistic expectations for children. They expect them to do so much better than they did, but at the same time, it's like, I'm interested in something. Let me be interested. And then don't go back and say, why the fuck are you doing? You said I should do. Side note, isn't it interesting that people condone criminal activity over doing something like this? Playing this is harmless. Surprisingly, I am not a virgin. I've had sex enough times. enough times to have about 2 bitches miscarriage and a pregnancy scare. Whew. I dodged the bullets like Neo in the Matrix. Most of the bitches that I dealt with didn't like this. But do you think I stopped this because that bitch didn't like it? Now, bitches, for some reason, believe that the only thing that you need to do or be around or talk about or think about is them. But they can do all the other shit that they want to. But you have to make them the center of your life. Fuck you, bitches. That's not how this works. Now, as I've gotten older, I don't really put out there what I do for money. But at the same time, it's like you could probably just look on YouTube and a video might pop up. Oh my God, that's him. He does videos. Oh my God, he's a piece of shit. He's a loser. Whatever. Fuck you, bitch. I don't care. It got to that point because I've had enough bitches, enough people out there saying you should do such and such. And I just was like, no, it felt bad. I was somewhat ashamed, but eventually I just stopped giving a shit. You do not affect anything that happens with me, negatively or positively. Now, this is kind of a good ending in some respects. When you move away from your parents or you move away from those people that gave you resistance about a simple fucking hobby that you like doing, and then come to find out you actually do this hobby for income, which makes money. So it's no longer really a hobby. What the fuck can they say about it? It's a bit different if you live with these people because they can just keep saying the shit and then it's like, but I make money, but you ain't out the house. You don't make enough to leave, but once you get the fuck out, this is from experience. What the fuck can your parents say? What the fuck can these bitches say if this pays the bills? I'm saying all this to say, I understand why people are ashamed of playing something that they like because of the reactions of people that are important. I think the problem is that us as people, we put importance on the wrong type of people. And just because these people can be family members, that does not mean that they should be considered important automatically. Even though some people are trained and or brainwashed to believe that shit, I do not think it is true. And that is something that I've learned in part of me playing this game. I ain't stopped playing this shit, and I'm probably not going to stop playing this shit. Yes, I'm 28. I'm going to be 29 in about 3 months. My father could be ashamed. My aunts, my uncles, I don't care. Fuck you. You're not doing anything for me. This game has done more for me than my family has. What the fuck can they say to that? Whew, that was some deep shit. So now I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I appreciate it. If you would like to support me in some form or fashion, all I ask is you spend literally seconds out your day and click an advertisement. Money goes towards rent and other living expenses. And I'll be grateful, appreciative, and I'm going to say thank you very much in advance if you found some time to do that. I understand that some people aren't willing to just be open and let people know about themselves. I don't really care what you think about me. That's why I say the shit that I say. I'm just saying. It's just, you either let what other people's opinion about you run you, and that basically influences how you act and how you're treated, or you just say fuck them. Say what you say, and they can take it for what it is. I understand me saying this shit. Somebody's going to probably say in the comments, you's a bitch, you should have a real job. True, but I don't. What are you going to do about it? And this is not just for the YouTube shit. This is for anybody. Anybody that makes money off of Twitch, any of that shit. People be like, you just have a real job. Well, why would I get a real job when I can just do this for a living? The logic is impeccable.